What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 4 of the eBay Business Owners Podcast. Thanks for joining me. My name is Chris, and I'm going to be talking about my triple threat strategy to earn $300 a day, and then also the number one reason why you are not growing your eBay store. So if that interests you, thank you for joining me. And if you just want to read the summary, you can go to the description below and take a look at the show notes and get an idea of what to do without panicking too much. So let's get straight into it. I talk to a lot of business owners, all eBay people who are doing eBay part-time, full-time as a hobby, enterprise, gigantic stores. I talk to people who do $10,000 a day on eBay and people who do just getting their first sale, that whole range. This year, I should be able to interview a few 8-figure eBay stores. So hopefully eBay can actually hook me up with those people so I can go tour their facilities and give you guys an idea. I'd like to visit the Global Shipping Center and I'd also like to visit 2 8-figure stores this year just to see. There's really not that many of them. So I'd love to go there and see what it looks like to do more than 5 figures a day, right? We can always learn. Most of us will never be at that level, but that's okay. We just want to get in there and get an idea. Okay, let's get straight into it. This is my 3-part strategy to earning $300 a day. That's 6 figures if you multiply that over the course of the year. And this is my experience. I have done all 3 of these categories. So I want to share with you guys my personal journey, and hopefully you guys can do this. The first thing that you can do, especially with minimal cash, okay, so this is very important for people who are just getting started or you don't want to use a lot of money. You need to hustle the best 50 to 100 items a week in any category. Okay, it doesn't matter what category, whatever makes the most money. Okay, if it's a guitar, if it's a rare painting, whatever it is, learn a specific niche and find the most undervalued stuff and go for it. It's super, super important. If you want to go, I'm sorry, I got distracted by the text. It's super, super important to hustle as hard as you can in the most high-end items that you can find. You need that money to grow. So if you find a record player for $10 and share and sell for $550, you need that cash in order to get your business started. So the 50 to 100 items a week is the majority of the people that I'm probably going to meet when I go to eBay Open, and probably, and almost everybody that I met in Kansas City at the Reseller Fam event, which was awesome. But again, that's going to go into one of the reasons why you can't grow. But hustling the best 50 to 100 items a week is your first way to get $100 a day. You can earn, in my opinion, $700 profit in a week by just doing garage sales on Saturday and Sunday in your area, or if weather's not permitting, just estate sales and moving sales and Craigslist. Going on there, learning eBay to Amazon flips or the other way around, or just figuring out, being creative and finding deals. Now, it's not scalable because you're looking for deals. You're looking for hot releases that are you're gonna buy a pair of Nikes for 100 and sell for 200. Things like that are one-off, and you're not going to be able to repeat it too often, right? So it's very challenging to get to the next level. But you need to do that to earn your first $100 a week. Anybody can do it. If you have the time and you put in the research on your phone looking for those items, that's hunting, thrifting, whatever you're doing. The majority of resellers that I talk to on Instagram or on YouTube, that's what they do. And that's it. They just do that one model of looking for 50 to 100 items, the best, and do the best they can. And that's great. But if you guys want to get to the next level and not have to work as hard or work differently, I'm going to give you guys some ideas on that. Joshua, what's going on? My event is actually the Friday after eBay Open, and the details I will put in the description below after this chat. Thank you for reaching out to me to remind me. And that event will be televised. It'll be on YouTube for free. So if you guys can't make it to Vegas, I'm going to walk around the Blind Center, which is a 7-figure store. So you guys can walk around and get an idea of what it looks like to run an operation that big. There's also like 10 people who work in that eBay store that are blind. Okay, so that's incredible. Very, very cool. It's a nonprofit. If you guys have any interest in starting a 501(c), you should watch that show. It's going to be towards the end of July, the day after eBay Open. Yeah, this hat, it reminds me to let you guys know that it's going to be a very dry summer, so don't start any forest fires. Okay, let's get into the second one. I always preach that you need to get 3 niches that earn you $100, okay? 3 niches that earn you $100 is $300 a day. And in my opinion, you need to make more than you need, okay? You need to make more than you need so you actually have something to give. The people who resell and just make enough for themselves to survive, they're selfish, in my opinion. I want you to make more money so you can actually give something. My family never had any extra money to give. All they focused on was themselves, and they were super unhappy their whole lives. When I meet rich people, they don't seem unhappy. They can do anything for anyone. Their life, they're just figuring out like who they want to help, and they can. Right. I remember running a high school dance event, and I was with myself and the other class officers. I was class president in my high school, and a lady said, "This is such a waste of the three of yours time. How much do you guys need for the dance?" And it was like $2,800. And she's like, "Okay, how much do you need to raise still?" And we're like, $2,500. So she wrote a check for $2,500 for the rest of it, and she said, "Here you go. The three of you guys go do something more that's better. Like, this is such a waste of three young people's time." And I was like, "Wow, this is so insane." The lady didn't ask for anything. She just basically said, "You three go do something else. Go raise money for a different cause, do whatever," because there was a lot of charity work involved in my high school for that kind of stuff. So anyway, make more than you need so you have something to give. So most people do not need $300 a day. I just want you to aim at that. Okay. So I preach build 3 niches that you can get to that earn $100 a day. And the easiest one, in my opinion, is shoes. Okay. There are so many shoes. I joked on a previous video that people don't have feet anymore. And people took it literally and they thought there was some kind of issue with people's feet. There's not. People need shoes all day. Right? If you can find a pair of shoes that retails for $150 new, and you find a pre-owned for $1, you will be fine. Okay. You can earn a profit there, even if you're very bad at reselling, because there's enough value there that you can earn a profit. If you want to make more money, you have to earn more value, provide more value to the marketplace. Okay, so 3 niches that earn you $100. So once you have maxed out the 50 to 100 random items that you can find for the most profit that are in random categories, start focusing on building up a big enough supply of a certain category that you can make X amount of money. So for me, I have probably 8 categories that I'm working on trying to make $100 a day. But the easiest one is shoes. Used shoes requires the least amount of money and can make you $100 a day the fastest. In my opinion, it's probably 600 pairs of pre-owned shoes that are $20 to $40 profit. Now, you may have to clean the profit into them, okay? And I want you to think of it that way. The cheaper you get it, it's probably going to be because the condition is poor, or the condition is usually the reason why people donate it. And if you spend some time and clean up a nice pair of boots or a nice pair of dress shoes or a nice pair of sneakers, you can earn that $20 to $40 profit from that shoe. And if you're too lazy to do that, you're going to need some money to buy brand new stuff, because then you're going to have smaller margins typically on new stuff. The only exception would be the people who hunt really rare cleats, right? For example, if you are a Marshall's Ross hunter and you're buying stuff for 20 and selling it for 100, then be prepared to put a lot of miles on your car. Okay. But all of these models require you to put in work to learn a specific niche. Okay. You could be like Prince, my boy. He's Prince Patel on social media. You guys can follow him. He has less than 100 items, never lists anything, and does over $500,000 a year in sales. 0 listing. So you hear list. He doesn't list at all. He spent 5 years finding 90 products that he can just order. Okay, so he just orders them from China. They arrive. When they sell out, he orders them again. And he has a relationship with the supplier. The way that he orders things is very unique and very cool. So they only deal with him, right? So he created a unique advantage for that supplier to only work with him, right? So that's huge. That gives him a little bit of a monopoly on that type of a supply. So if you were to look at his store and try and copy it, and you try to get the manufacturer, they'd be like, sorry. Or they would charge you more than they charge him because they don't know you. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but you want to focus on building up a niche to at least $100 a day. So if you have 3 of those, you're safe in case one starts to not work. You can work on another one. What's up, Justin? Thank you for stopping by. It's super important to focus, guys. Try not to do more than one category at the same time, because you're never going to get good enough at the category to recognize small nuances that will make you more money. For example, I sell tons of running shoes. I know, because I listened to Kevin, the Clutch Swag, that women's running shoes sell 4 to 1 over pretty much any kind of men's shoe. Women's running shoes are the hotness, especially in the summertime, and especially towards the beginning of the year, because people will buy brand new shoes for New Year's resolutions or to get in shape for the summer and then not use them. So it's also a good opportunity to get them at the thrift store, almost like new. Running shoes are great because, judging from me visiting lots of places in the United States, most people don't do any running, but a lot of running shoes sell. So that means a lot of them are in good shape and you can get that money out of them. Very important. So for me, I earn at least $100 a day just in the running shoe category. Okay, so that's just one of many things that I sell. In my opinion, is the easiest one to get into because it requires the least amount of money. So you're talking about 600 pairs of shoes in my show that's saying if you have 666 items or 667 items if you're superstitious, you can sell 200 of those shoes every month for $20 profit, and there's your 1 grand a week, which for most people you can quit your job. And 666 shoes, if you hustle and really hunt them, you can get them for $10 a piece. That is a $6,000 investment to make $1,000 a week. Okay, that's amazing. That's the smallest investment ever to create a full-time income. Now there are people that say, I don't need that much money. I can just hustle that money. Sure, but what that means is every week you have to refine 50 to 100 bomb ass items to sell and make a crazy profit. You have to still go hunting. I don't have to do that. I already have the inventory. I can do nothing tomorrow and still make almost the same amount of money because the inventory should produce X amount of income each day. I haven't had a day with less than $500 sales in like 5 months because the inventory, there's so much inventory. Like it's impossible. It's statistically impossible to have a slow day for the sales to be below $500 because according to math, right, for my store, I have about a 30 to 40% sell-through rate. And so with over 100,000 listed, it's very unusual for me not to have $1,000 a day in sales because of the amount listed and the way that I list things in the categories. And here's a huge secret for eBay. If you sell vintage hats, okay, and you have 500 of them for sale, okay, you're going to start getting bundle deals. People are going to buy more than one hat. People are going to start repeat buying from you because you're the hat person. They trust you. Somebody who has 500 hats in their store probably knows a thing or two about hats. You can describe them better, better titles, better photos, because you probably have a head mannequin if you have 500 hats. You would have figured out a way to present them properly. But if I review stores all the time. And it looks, when I say that your store looks like a yard sale, that's because it looks like a yard sale. There's so many random things in the store. And what random means to me is you don't know anything about the items. So if you just have one of 100 different categories in your store and they're all cheap, I'm probably not going to buy anything from you. And that's the sad truth. And eBay, unfortunately, is really, really pushing brand new stuff. Okay, so if you look at eBay, it's pushing brand new stuff. There's a lot of competition and a lot of websites, okay, that are competing against eBay, selling brand new stuff for cheaper than you guys are trying to sell your pre-owned stuff. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Make sure that you really know what you're doing. Get a category big enough that you can get combined sales and save on shipping. Your customer saves money, you make more money, there's less eBay fees, but eBay still makes more than just your one-off sales or one-off items that don't sell. So really focus on 3 categories. Okay, here's the third one. This is the most important one, and the one that if you have a full-time job or you're busy already, what you need to do, you need to start building connections with wholesale and liquidation and closeout and people in your area to do it. So for example, there is a website that I'm not affiliated with called bluelots.com, right? And I was telling a lot of people in my group to go to bluelots.com and wait for their release. Every day they come out with new pallets, right? So you can go online and buy a pallet as soon as it pops up, comes to your house. You now saved a bunch of time. You can buy a pallet for 4 grand, sell for 12 grand, try to double your money, right? That would be the idea. Now, I mean, especially since I've been talking about along social media, this site's kind of flooded. So if you try to hop on right when the lot comes on, you better be quick because they're going to go quick, and that's going to be tough to get. But I'm saying you should spend a significant amount of time every single week working on wholesale, closeout, liquidation, trying to get those connections because you need that to get to the next level. You can use that category to earn $100 a day easily, and it's just based on how much you spend. Okay, so if you have more money, you can buy nicer quality stuff that sells for a lower margin, but the demand is higher. Okay, they know the demand is higher, so they're going to charge you more, but the chances of you sitting on it is lower. If you take a risk and you buy a pallet full of pillows, you might be getting the pillows for 50 cents each, right? But how much demand is there for pillows? And pillows aren't that expensive, right? But if you're buying a pallet full of Patagonia for $70 a jacket, That's hard. $70 brand new jackets that are, let's say, $110 MSRP. That is a skinny margin, right? Because you can't sell for 110 on eBay because eBay's flooded. So you can't sell, you have to sell more like 90 on a jacket that's worth 110 or 120, even with Patagonia, which is a super hot brand, right? And you're also competing with a million people who found one at Goodwill that are selling it for $40, right? So you've got to squeeze in there and try to get $80 to $100 out of your jacket. But are you going to lose money on a brand new Patagonia jacket? Probably not. If you try to sell it for $85 by now, it'll probably be gone in one day because it's substantially below the new market. And the people who want new, they're going to pop on that jacket. So it just depends. But again, that's the third thing that I want you guys to do to build a $100 business. So if you want to put it all together like me and do all three, you will hustle. Craigslist, you'll be on the hype beast lists and wait for the right Supreme release, the right Nike release, try double, triple your money. You're going to be getting the best 50 to 100 items that you can. Now, if you have a limited budget, that's it. That's all you can do is try to get the 50 to 100 items the best you can, at least get a little bit of capital to start learning the other two. The next one is you can slowly build up a niche over time and just be known as the shoe guy, as the hat guy, as the watch guy, and slowly learn something and build up a big enough inventory that when people land in your store, they're going to find something they like, and then you're going to be able to make some money. That's very important. You can also build a website talking about reviewing hats and then drive that traffic and earn affiliate income, right? From the traffic that goes to your site because you're the hat expert. But no one wants to listen to you talk about hats if you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. And the final one is you want to build replenishables. It's the hardest part because you have to sit your ass in a chair and just boringly look through things that are selling well and try to find those. Okay. So it sucks because it's not that exciting to look for things that sell well and just go find them. That sounds actually too good to be true, right? So if you download the Amazon seller app, they actually tell you what sells well. Okay. You could just download that list and go find those products, and you know they're going to sell pretty much instantaneously. If you send them into Amazon or on eBay, people are looking for a slightly better deal, but your cash right away, right? Selling on eBay, it goes right into your PayPal. If you don't have any holds, you can use that money immediately to buy something else. That is one benefit of eBay that is unique to eBay. Usually when people pay, you can use that money right away to buy something else and just continuously flip that money. Okay, those are the three things. Now, if you guys are enjoying this material, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. That would help other people find this channel. But finally, this is the number one reason you are not growing. So hopefully you guys are ready. Get a pen. If you guys are in the chat, pay attention. This is the number one reason you are not growing. Okay. It's because you are failing to delegate different tasks to somebody else, eliminate tasks that you don't need, or automate tasks that you need to do. If you are not doing one of those three things, you are not getting more time in your day. Okay. And we all have the same amount of time in your day. So if you do not do those three things, you will not grow your business. Okay. The easiest way to do that is to actually add a person to your staff. Okay, so I think that you can go to a 2,500 item store with one full-time employee. Okay, 2,500 extra on top of whatever you're doing right now. If that person is working full-time, listing 50 items a day, that's 1,000 items per month. And that's 1,000 sales if you're at that point. And with depending on how many items you have is irrelevant. That's 1,000 items going into your system. If you have one full-time person that's not doing anything else. What we do when we get interrupted by a customer service question or a best offer is instead of working on growing your store, you're answering that question, or you're working on a return instead of growing your store, right? And you only have so many hours in the day. You have the same kids, the same wife, the same job usually. You don't have more hours. You have to start eliminating stuff to use that time to do something else. So what I see people do is they will replace themselves. So they'll do 50 to 100 items a week and they'll crush it. Then they'll switch to, they'll still get 50 to 100 items a week. And then they'll hire someone to do all the listing for them. And then I'll get an email saying, I didn't grow. I actually lost money after I hired someone. I'm like, that's because instead of growing to 100 to 150 items a week now, you stayed at 50 to 100 and you just took the easy street of relaxing while that person is doing some of the work for you. That's not how it works. You have to do a total amount of work more to pay for that person to earn the same amount. It's actually harder. You can see even Rally Roots, if you guys haven't followed Ryan and Allie, they have an awesome channel. Their sales dipped when they hired someone. So can you imagine that? You're taking on the expense of Cali, and then your sales go down. Okay, imagine how difficult that is, because you have to stop working and train this person to help you, right? So you're going to go through this dip every time you try to grow. You have to survive through that dip. So then, oh, sorry, afterwards, the total amount of work that you do is larger. I recommend employee if you can afford it. If not, go 1099. But it doesn't matter. The idea, the concept behind it is the same. You need more time. Okay, so you guys all need to write this down. If you're not delegating, eliminating, or automating, then you are not going to be able to go to the next level. All this motivation, inspiration stuff that you look at Instagram is not helping you. Okay, you can't will yourself into doing more work. There's only so much time. I really don't meet that many lazy resellers that are really trying to make it. Resellers aren't that lazy. It's hard. You work for yourself. There's no schedule, right? There's no boss. You have to do everything. You're the reason you make it or you fail. It's all on you, which is hard. So if you don't have for example, when I print a label for eBay or Poshmark, I have a specific system that I use, okay, to go through to print the label, and I do that process the same way every single time. And now I can have somebody else do it completely. I don't need to do it at all, right? If I'm doing it, it's fast. It's even faster if somebody else is not doing it. And I'm trying not to be really good at things that don't matter, right? I want to be great at the things that matter the most, which is hunting, right? So I want to spend 100% of my time filling my store with the highest profit margin stuff. Okay, so it's very, very important that you want to do that. Now, if you want to look at like the mastery of people who really, really are on fire with their time, you can look at people like Watch Me Amazon. Today, I just watched him talk about how he does $18 million a year in sales with basically 3 employees. Like, are you kidding me? That's $6 million an employee, right? So for me, each employee on eBay selling just regular junk is probably worth about 200 grand, right? 200 grand is the maximum that that each contractor that I hire could make for me with the stuff that I sell. Once you start leveraging Amazon to start fulfilling products for you, Amazon has giant robots to fulfill stuff and a customer service team that's thousands of people. That's going to think about the time that you just delegated to somebody else. It's insane. It's thousands and thousands of hours. All he's doing is ordering brand new stuff that doesn't require any prep except for putting a label on it and sending it in, and the rest of the work is done for him by Amazon. That's amazing. Okay, that's called leverage. That's what rich people do, right? They focus on delegating, automating, and eliminating everything from their life except for what's important. And that to me is true abundance. Yeah, I'm gonna share my process for shipping, but basically, like as an example, on Poshmark, I go to my sales, open the tab, and I took this from Millennial Mouse, so shout out to Ashley. Open up the sale. I click 1, 2, 3 for the 3 steps that are required to ship a label. And the only reason I do that is to confirm I'm actually doing this process right now. It's already pre-packed. So click the 3 check marks to confirm I've shipped the item. I download the label in Safari. I hit open Apple P. It opens up the window. I hit enter. It prints the label. I hit open Apple Q. It closes the window. I go back to my screen. I hit back to orders and I do the next one. I do that same process over and over again. In fact, I can recite it because I've done it so many times. I just passed $50,000 in sales on Poshmark. So like I have done that exact sequence probably 400 times now. And it took me 700 to figure it out. Actually, I didn't even figure it out. I just copied Ashley, right? So if I had done that from day one, I could have just skipped all that trying to figure it out and doing it poorly. After 700 items, I still wasn't shipping as efficiently as she was. I just had to copy her process. And now the improvements that I can kind of guess are only like fractions of a second. Like it doesn't even matter. I'm just like, what order should we click the boxes? Like it's already super duper efficient already. So once you have your entire system, all your business processes like that, you can now have somebody else do it and you can get more time. So if you're one of those people that doesn't want to let other people do it because you're worried about how they're going to do it, you can't get to the next level. That's really, really brutal, but it's just true. If you want to do everything yourself, you have 100% chance of failing, of growing. Interesting. Would I recommend buying a pallet from Goodwill? I bought 4 pallets from Goodwill. That was not a mistake, but it was very painful because I had to look through 800 pounds of clothing. But after listing all of that and discarding what didn't work, I had a pretty good idea of men's clothing because I looked up probably 200 brands in that process. So I recommend it as a learning process. But if you're good at picking, then it's not a good idea. If you're good at picking, I would hunt. I would hunt for the 50 to 100 best items that you can instead of buying 800 items and finding the best 50 to 100 items. And this is why I didn't know what the best 50 to 100 items were in those pallets when I started. Okay. So that's why I did it. One of the reasons I did was to force myself to learn how to do it. Right. I don't necessarily consider myself a fashionable guy, but now I do. Now I know exactly what it takes to put together an outfit that looks amazing on a guy or a girl because I've been selling this stuff thousands and thousands of times. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like button and please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the notification button. If you have any questions, email me at 10K on the, oh, I'm sorry, you can still email me there, 10konthebay@gmail.com or chris@dailyrefinement.com. I will respond to your email probably within 2 days. And I appreciate your time. Everyone have a great week. Hope you're improving your sales. Take care.